What's up, everyone?
We're back.
We are back. We're back from the Gencon.
This morning we woke up in another state.
Yep.
And now
then
we're
we
here.
drove through like 4 other states, and we got lost in time by.
Yeah.
We drove through the Tennessee mountains to avoid traffic.
On I-40.
Yeah.
And we ended up in some other lifetime. Somewhere stuck in the 90s.
There was no GPS or
Yeah.
phone signal
Yeah.
for just so long.
Yeah.
For what felt like eternity. I'm gonna make our cameras a little bigger. What's
Yeah,
up, Storm?
go for it.
I know, we're buds now. For reals buds. Lord of Winter, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you. I know
Yeah.
you said
What's up,
hey to
dude?
Nathan.
We only got to really say hi to you. We were busy doing other stuff. But yeah.
Thanks for everyone who said hey. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Flying squirrel. Was it flying squirrel? Flying squirrel.
Yep.
We have a flying squirrel and a squirrel bane.
Yeah, Squirrel Bane we know.
So Squirrel Bane is somebody we know from IRL.
Yeah.
Flying Squirrel we only knew from the internet. We met Flying Squirrel. Cool dude.
Yep. He actually showed up these boxes, right?
Yeah,
First.
yeah. So he bought these, and we have to where we gotta put them.
Game.
We gotta put them right
Gene-
here.
No, you can show
Oh,
them because
like-
your camera's big.
Okay, so
Yeah. They're pretty sweet.
these we plan on doing like a product review of these
We'll go through
later
those in a
on.
little bit, but they're cool.
And this is the obligatory hashtag sponsor us, you cowards.
For
so-
somebody. I don't.
Yeah, Game Genic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Did you get to see one up close? Because they're I would compare them to Ultimate Guard, which is a good thing because
I would say I like this more than Ultimate Guard.
yeah, you don't have like the options for the skin. That's the cool thing about Ultimate
Right.
Guard is
Well,
that
these-
you have like
this is what I got for Ultimate Guard, and I've used this for a while for Destiny. I used it a lot of, and it holds 4 decks pretty well. It just has like a slot there for tokens. It's just not that great.
yeah.
The box is as plain as can be, but that was the only one they had. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's much.
They have
options
like
for that.
they have like the chroma skin one where it like responds to heat, temperature, and stuff like that.
That's
Like
pretty
that's
cool.
like that stuff's pretty cool. It's neat.
Yeah,
It's
the
something-
single deck ones were nice. We got in line on Saturday during the lunch break of the Vault Tour for Archon,
and
we got it no problem.
Yeah.
Like they probably had 12 or so left on the shelf. I don't know if they had more
Yeah.
in the back. So like they were there. You're betting. What are you betting on? But hey, Rye, what's up? We're probably gonna do mostly talking
Yeah.
today.
we are kind of burned out.
We played a lot of Keyforge this weekend.
Yeah.
Although it's like not more Keyforge than we would have played had we streamed 2 days, because it was like for me it was 12 games.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the same amount
Right.
that we streamed.
Right. I played slightly more.
Yeah, we just got back from Gen Con Vault Tour this week.
Yep.
So we're talking about that a little bit. We got a lot of news while we were there about Keyforge. We're talking about a new set.
Yep.
Yeah, slightly more games. I played some games against Stormstrong. Got to play against the deck he submitted for the Viewer Royale tournament
Yeah.
in person. It's really fun.
Yeah, we hung out with Storm a bunch of the days. Storm helped me a lot with my my card Hala project, which I'll talk about probably towards the end of the stream once all the Keyforge content is over. But yeah, it was cool meeting you in person, Storm. Really glad you helped me on that project. I couldn't have gotten it done without you. So you
Worked out
definitely
pretty well.
you definitely saved me a lot of time on it. So
I only kicked your butt because I brought like my 4 decks that I was thinking about for Archon. It's
Yeah.
just like trying them out. If I would have had my other decks, I would have used those. But I did give you like 6 amber for that bad penny that one time. About playing the Soul Snatcher. Yeah, I don't know about. So we were talking about how
Yeah.
to functionally make a Death Star out of cards, and we were talking about also how if we could somehow engineer a weak spot that when hit with a coin would actually explode the Death Star
Would
or like
collapse
collapse it somehow.
Yeah.
That would be like
that would be ideal.
that's
So
the magnum opus.
but it is like a serious engineering project, like a really hard engineering problem, which I don't know that we have an easy solution to yet. So I may try something else next year, and then the thing is, if I make like an exploding Death Star, that's it. I'm like done with Card Hall.
that's
I
it.
can
No, you
literally can't top that.
I don't think
gotta-
anyone in Card Hall could top
yeah,
that.
so
Like,
I just retire from Card Hall, the greatest to have ever played the game, and move on. So
we also discussed a Star Destroyer if there's a median year, so you could do Star Destroyer next, then Death Star.
yeah, so
that gives you 2 years of planning for Death Star.
right. I think the Star Destroyer wouldn't be too bad, and if you made it large enough, then you could like work out the fact that there's like angles on it. And if I was planning the TIE Fighter ahead of time. I had to scale it down. I was glad I had plans for it because the scaling it down was easy since I had made it larger. I could scale it down and get it done in time. So anyway, Keyforge.
We're talking about Keyforge, I guess.
All right, we'll start with sealed.
Yes. So sealed Thursday.
Yeah, we get 3 decks.
Yes.
I don't even remember my other 2 decks. I don't even remember.
I remember mine because I gave them to Sean.
Okay. Yeah. You had a 7.
Decks.
You had a 7 Plague-Rat deck.
I opened a 7 Plague-Rat deck. Pretty cool.
It was tempting. I mean, like honestly, it should be tempting.
It was
sealed.
somewhat.
Yeah.
And I mean that could be impactful if there's like the opponent just never has creatures. Just like so much amber going around, they never have creatures. And then it also had a Maverick Knuckles Bolton in Mars.
Logos, right?
No, you're right. It was Logos.
Yeah.
It was Logos. And the Logos in that deck was actually cool. It had like wild wormholes and stuff. And the other deck, I remember just being like, okay, it was like medium good deck.
Yeah.
Not a lot of amber control in either of those 2 decks, which is why I ultimately picked the one I did, which was Tobin of Darkport Isle. It was Dis Logos Sanctum. It had some pretty good Dis, like 2 Dust Imps and Onyx Knight. Onyx Knight did a lot of work. 3
I can imagine.
3 Fates did a lot of work. 2 Tesmals, so like there's that possibility of getting that off.
Onyx Knight is the odd creatures, right, or the even?
It is odd because the rest of my deck was pretty much even power creatures.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
I think the only odd power creatures in my deck were Abon the Armorsmith and the Project ZYX.
Okay,
if I'm not mistaken.
So pretty easy to avoid killing them if need be. Yeah.
And then the Logos just had tons of archiving. It had Director of ZYX, Project ZYX, and 2 ZYX researchers, 2 lab works, and Hex-Beyond. So it was just like chuffing things in the archive. It would be pretty big. And the Sanctum was probably the best house in the deck. It had Doorstep to Heaven, Grey Rider, Prince Derek, 2 Abades, 2 Lion Bartrams. So it was doing some work. Also take hostages.
Did you have an Exhume?
Capture. I did have 1 Exhume.
Okay. Did you ever Exhume Prince Derek?
I don't think I did, but I got him off. I think I got him off 1 time.
Okay.
I
think he's better with Exhume because like the thing is you can.
I used Exhume to set it up, so I think I exhumed like a Logos guy. Yeah, I remember I exhumed a Project or a ZYX researcher because I was like, there's no way he's gonna kill that. Yeah. It's like so unsuspecting.
Right.
Or a Dust Imp or something. It was one of those 2.
Okay.
I might have played Dust Imp, then exhumed a Project ZYX. The next turn played
Derek.
Because like neither one of those guys is gonna.
Yeah,
die.
I like Exhume Derek because if you jam a Logos dude, and you have this guy and the Exhume, you can get it off.
Yep.
As long as you get to untap with the guy.
So this deck was really good at archiving and generating amber. It had a little bit. Most of its stopping was steal or capture. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it had a Charette and 2 Abades. So that was most of it. That ideally I was like setting up a Doorstep off of those captured things. And I got that up a couple times. But I lost to like Nature's Calls.
Oh yeah,
and
I can see that.
I remember I got a lot of instant keys forged to me with like Nature's Calls and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was ultimately what I kept losing to. I ended up 3-3 on the day. I probably should have been 4-2 with this deck. I maybe made a play mistake here or there that I should have like pushed to another round.
Yeah.
I talked about it a little bit earlier. Me and Nathan discussed Keyforge on the car right back. So we're driving for 9 hours. So
yeah.
Obviously we're gonna talk about Keyforge a bit. I play fast. I tend to play pretty fast, and I need to take when I'm playing in those tournaments. I need to take more time to think about what probably is in my opponent's hand.
I mean, like, what's the average time that like a lot of those games are done? You still have like 15 minutes in a round a lot of times.
And even especially in the Archon tournament, when I was popping off, I'd finish my game. I finished 1 game before they handed out match slips with Toki.
Yeah,
that was like for my first round. I was just like
trash the guy. Yeah,
because Toki is, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but. I was glad I brought that deck because I enjoyed it a lot, and it was fun to play. And it's AOA, so people weren't quite expecting a lot of stuff. I had people reading my cards a lot.
Yeah, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah, so that was good. Like people didn't quite know about how to play against Resonator.
Yeah,
that much, and he did a lot of work for me.
Yeah, Resonators. God, I had a Resonator played against me in Sealed. No. It was an Archon. I had a dude who had 2 Resonators in his deck, and it was just awful. I hate that card.
So there you have that deck that has Grunt Buggy and was like really good at generating amber.
Yeah.
And I want to say that deck would have been incredible in Archon.
Yeah, I think it could have been.
I think that deck would have been.
I think I would have probably dunked on a lot of the games that I lost.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
And because you could just play it slow, and their keys cost $1 billion.
Yeah.
Your guys are just fat.
The people I played didn't kill creatures; they bounced them.
Yes,
but I feel like we're just still getting ahead of ourselves. But yeah.
Okay,
We want to talk about
Archon
Archon because like we shit talked Archon in the Discord, but we're kind of like we're in the process of walking back Archon.
But so. I mean, sealed ultimately is your
yeah. So fun.
This because I went 3-3 and Nathan.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah, I posted it on like several people congratulated me on Twitter, but I went 6-0 day one in sealed. No small part, in fact, due to that this deck was dumb.
Let me see if I can link it. Is it?
Yeah,
we're not sure if it's.
I'm not sure if it's
working.
in the app. It's o.fonzie. I tried to scan it in the app earlier, but it was like not working. I'm gonna see if I can do it now.
I know the app is just like all screwed up, so it might not pull.
No. Okay. Anyway, so I got a app is having major issues. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go over the deck list. And I kind of hate doing it this way. In fact, I'll just lay the deck out if you want to like shrink down the cameras.
Yeah.
We've got this deck just was a pile of synergy. Just so much synergy, and I had a couple powerful degenerate combos that I used, and Martian Generosity was in the deck, and that card did not draw me less than 8 cards. It was almost always correct to draw as many cards as I could with the card, and because the thing is, in like sealed, your opponent isn't expecting you to just start taking back-to-back turns where you play like 8 cards, and the deck could do it multiple times. So
like you're almost guaranteed a lot of the time when you Martian Generosity to have 2 Mars firsts and a dude. That's a lot.
Right. So my first 3 opponents were my first 2 opponents, I would say, people who played a decent amount of Keyforge, but I don't think that they had the experience with AOA that Justin and I had by opening. I don't know
that anyone there had as much AOA experience as we have.
Right, and I think that might be fair.
Yeah.
And
maybe some people have played more than us, but
right.
With Crucible not working.
Right.
Forever, and even some of the guys like the guy from Reapout and one of the guys from Team SAS were telling me like they haven't had a ton of time with AOA aside from the decks they bought.
So I think
we've definitely played the most diverse, probably the most amount of decks. Yeah, because we've each played 100 decks, right?
Right,
at least more than that.
Yeah, so we've both played like close to 150 now. Yeah, right. Probably more than that. But we've played through at least 100 of these, or I guess probably closer to 75, right? Because we would have played all 50 of ours plus like half of the other person's or something. Anyway, doesn't matter.
We've played with every deck. Well, I guess no, not yet. But you're right.
Right. We haven't made it through all of the decks yet. But regardless, there's a lot of axioms about AOA that we knew that I think gave us an advantage. Like it's stopping 6 amber is just so hard. And like board wipes are a premium. So my first 2 opponents, I asked after I played to see what other decks they had, and they had definitely chosen not the strongest deck that they had open, based off of what we know about AOA. So and this deck has like some clunkers of cards in here, and some cards that I didn't always play, but it was one of those things, knowing when to hold specific cards and when to get rid of them was half this deck. And this disc side looks kind of suspect. Like the key to disc and life ward, obviously good. That's good stuff. Anguish, not bad. But you got like Bloodshard Imp and Tolus, which are guys that can backfire on you. But I had a game where I played Tolus, used Call of the Week to kill a guy, and played a Bloodshard Imp. And so my opponent can't reap on the next turn because if he does with his guys, and he didn't have like a good way to fight. Like I killed like his only guys that were on the table, and so on the next turn I like reaped with Tolas, and it died before it would give an amber to him.
Right.
So this Bloodshard Imp actually did a lot of work because I had like ways to kill my own people, including the Tolas. And the color subordination was really dumb.
Color was good dumb for me all day too.
Yeah. The first 3 matches that I played, I think I had 2 keys. I had 2 keys forged on me, in those 3 games.
Yeah,
like
total,
my games
total
were
of 2 keys and 4
my games were
3
just
games.
like we were just blinding fast because I have like the 2 Mars first and the 2 Mars needs ambers, combined with like Martian Generosity and the Harvester. Some people that watch this may have watched the stream that I played on because when I was
that round 6?
Yeah, it was round 6, so I was 5-0 at that point, playing against another 5-0. I think there were only 7 total 5-0s at that time, and I think I won. He forged 1 key,
yeah,
and I don't think he was close to forging his 2nd key in that game either. This deck was very good at forging a key before your opponent could blink, and then forging. I could like trade them a key, basically like you can forge that key. I'm going to forge this key too, and then at some point you had like a Martian Generosity just go off during that game and just close the game out.
Yeah.
My 4th round opponent had a pretty good deck, and he had Proclamation in the deck, and I actually had to forge my 2nd key for 8 amber, and he had like some pretty nasty Sanctum stuff.
I'll give him a real chew toy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, sure. He had like Obeyed. He had Proclamation. He was good at fighting for the board, and this deck does not have a lot of big creatures, which actually was very ended up being sneakily powerful. A lot of people played Sanctum and were playing cards like Spirit's Way, but Spirit's Way kills one of my Shadows guys, kills like 2 Disc guys, and kills like maybe 2 of my Mars guys. This deck is actually pretty light on creatures in the first place. But like a lot of the board wipes that like didn't hurt me, and I was like wiping the board half the time anyway, so that also didn't matter. I had Exhume to go with my Ronnie and Exhume to go with the Schuler, which were all pretty good. He's pretty excited about this chew toy.
I
know. Throwing Stars, Whistling Darts, dumb. There were the Sanctum dude wanted to control the board with his Proclamation, and I just wiped the board. He would have there were several people who would see Key to Dis and just march their creatures to their death. And then I think there were people who were like trying to play around it, and so they would just like put out some guys. And this deck has enough removal, so like you're playing just like a couple of guys.
Yeah, that's not gonna make you use your key.
Yeah, it's not gonna make me pop the key. And so it was pretty good at generating board states that were like just problematic for the opponent. With Carpet Flotsam and Mars Needs Amber. I don't think I ever actually played Carpet Flotsam and Mars Needs Amber together. Like there was never a situation where I got to pull that off. But
a lot of the stuff just dies to it, is the thing.
Yeah.
In AOA.
Right. But Whistling Darts and Mars Needs Amber I did use multiple times, and Throwing Darts can Throwing Stars can generate a lot of amber. And
that deck is just nuts.
I just had the answers all day. I had like 4 Brins played, no, like 5 Brins played against me, I think, and one of them ever got to steal amber from me.
Yeah.
I had Oubliettes. The most bonkers turn I had was where my opponent, I've got Key to Dis and Life Ward on the table, and he plays Brend. He like played Brend and Life for a Life did immediately, and then shuffled through his deck and drew back up, and he drew the Brend pretty quickly after going through his deck. and I had Key on the table, so he played Brend as like protection. So my turn goes around, I collar his Brend, I pop Key to dis, I pop Life Ward, and that was one of those you could just see the wind go out of his sails. He was just crushed. The app isn't working, Justice Blinded.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I really want to scan it
because it's totally sweet.
Yeah, just
maybe you should have just played that for Archon, man.
I could it could have.
Looking at that, it's like it would probably stack up pretty well against those.
Yeah. It doesn't. The thing was the thing about Archon was that like a lot of like the fast forging stuff.
Did you find it?
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was scanned. Well, I know it was scanned by the judge, but that's it. I don't know if that puts it into
I don't know.
No,
yeah, the Archon bot didn't pull it up, so yeah. But yeah, this deck was pretty silly. Now, the 5th round, I played against the guy who had the Fagin deck, and he had so he got a Legacy Fagin, which meant it came with Urchins.
Right.
He also had a Legacy Bookton, but that's kind of like a neutral. It's kind of like a wash or whatever. Bookton's big for an AOA creature, but and Bookton's fine. Let's like reaping and stuff like that.
I would say probably yes, best Legacy.
I mean, because you get 2 Urchins too. Yeah.
Oh, I think you get. Is it at least one? Can Fagin come in only one with only one?
I don't know. We'd have to look it up. But I think he comes with at least 2.
If it's always 2, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's like insane.
Yeah. So I played against the Fagin deck, and that deck was a wrecking ball.
God.
And against him, he played a Brand against me, and I oublieted it. I just threw him in a hole. I didn't want to look at him.
Yep.
He played Fagin. He played an Urchin. I was fortunate enough to have the Collector Worm on the table, so I archived a Fagin, Mars first, archived an Urchin, and so
Battlefleet Legacy comes in Martian Generosity, or you could have like double Key Abduction, Martian Generosity, Battlefleet. There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah. So yeah. That deck was brutal. His Shadow Side was so dumb. He had 2 Ronnies. He had his deck was just nuts. His Logos was like, you had Project ZYX. He had Project ZYX. He had like the whole project.
I saw a few of those going around.
He had like the whole ZYX.
I had the squad too, but that's really insane in his deck.
He had like the researcher. He had the director. He had the project.
Yeah.
He like his Logos. Now the thing about his Logos was it was a little bit slower at generating amber than the rest of it, because it really relied on the dudes. It was like super dude heavy, which was good for me because I have board wipes. So there was definitely a time where he his deck had treasure map too. Okay, so yeah, I eke out the win against him in round 5. And he stopped me like 3 turns in a row. I was at 2 keys, 6 amber. I was like, go to 6, and he like urchins me, and I go to 6, and he I think he may have had a miasma or something. He had like another way to stop me. And then suddenly he's threatening, so I like play like a Schuler to stop him, and go to 6 again. And he plays Merkins, and I had his Urchin archived from the Collector Worm, and it was Urchin and Fagin were both archived. So he Merkins and hits the Fagin instead of the Urchin.
Holy crap! I didn't know that.
Yeah, to not stop me there.
That's crazy.
Now I still had a Miasma in my hand, and I still had a Ronnie in my hand, so I still had 2 answers for him if he did that. But I was like playing my stuff in the descent, like ascending order of like best answers, because of how
you're holding Miasma for last.
Yeah, because like Miasma is the only one that I know can like guaranteed stop him, and I was like trying to play like the smaller answers first. So won that game barely. He was at 6 amber I could have stopped him, but like we were just trading answers back and forth, and that's like the hallmark
just
of
the last person to have an answer won.
That's the hallmark of a great game. So day 2, I get a first round bye, and my 6-0 game was yeah. That's it. You're right on point there, man. Because you don't know what's coming next, and you need the more powerful answer for the thing you haven't
Especially
seen yet.
Ronnie being like right under miasma, because like if they do go to 7, if they have to go to 7 for some reason for like to stop you,
Ronnie can
then
still
you get
stop
Ronnie,
it.
and then he swings it that much more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we went. I got a first round bye, and then I got paired against the guy with the Fagin deck again, and the tables were slightly flipped.
Mm-hmm.
So I was behind in that game from like minute 1. It was one of those, he forged a key so fast that I was like 100% sure I was gonna lose with like 1 key. There were a couple key plays in that game that I think it came down to. I do want to shout out to Rob's gaming table right here. He recorded that game, which I believe he's going to put on YouTube. So my memory is imperfect. So we can go to the tape at some point in the future if we want to use it as like a post-mortem. But that game is recorded. He didn't mention like when it was coming out or anything like that. So, but yeah, that game is the game is nuts. So it's definitely worth watching when it comes out for people who are interested in that. So yeah, he forged the first key so fast. He like had played his Logos dudes, and I was not ready to wipe the board against it. Like I didn't have a good board wipe. I think I had to like unlock Gateway to kind of like get it back under control. I think in that game he played Brend and I oublieted it. No. In that game he played Brend, and I had like 4 amber, and I had Mars. I had a Dominator on the table that was unstunned because I like started the game with the Dominator. So he plays Brend. I've got like 4 amber sitting there. I play something, I forget exactly what, and generate an amber. Then I Martian Generosity and draw a grip. And then I have the Dominator kill Brend so that I don't have any amber for him to steal. Yeah. And I like play out the rest of the Mars stuff from my hand, except I had a Mars Needs amber that I held on to. The reason being was that I had drawn my Whistling Darts. And in my head, I'm thinking, he's generated so much amber, I am going to have to like Mars Needs amber for 3+ to possibly stay in this game. That's just what I have to do. Yeah. He's so far ahead that if I'm not stealing 3 or more amber from him, I'm gonna lose this game. And I think I have to hold this Mars Needs amber. Now, spoiler alert, the Mars Needs amber sat in my hand for the rest of the game, and I never got to play
after
it.
You were down below 6 and it was kind of chaining
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think that was my play mistake. It didn't feel like a play mistake at the time. It didn't feel like a play mistake for a couple of turns. There was a time where he had 3 damaged dudes, and I could have played the Mars Needs amber, but I had not assembled Key to Disc Life Ward yet.
So you had no like good Mars follow up because you played all the rest of your Mars stuff on that turn.
Correct, and I didn't have
you weren't going to have another good Mars turn.
Exactly for who knows how many turns, because
so that was something maybe that could have been
and
considered
that was
at the time.
Exactly, and that I think I just need more reps with something like Martian Generosity. Not saying that you're going to like always open it and sealed, but having played it enough, I would have like realized,
because that's your Mars turn. Right?
Yeah,
that's
like
my
Mars turn. I'm not going to say Mars for who knows, at least 3 turns, because I'm going to have to like play these other cards, and it depends on. And I ended up doing something similar with Shadows, because I knew that he had 2 Ronnies in the deck. I didn't want to ever go to 7.
Right.
Ever. I didn't want him to ever steal 2 from me. He stole too much, just as is. So I never wanted to go to 7. He could stop me. That's fine. It would suck, But if I give him 2 amber, both decks were too good at generating amber for me to ever like just give him an extra one. Because I think the game essentially did come down to 1 amber. So I assemble Ketidus Life Ward, and he's got a table full of dudes, and I pop it. And I'm like, I've set it up now. I can probably control this game. I'll be able to play some dudes, get some initiative back. I had played some shadow stuff, and I had held 2 cards. I think I held Life for a Life and maybe Miasma or something, or I held something I shouldn't have, but it was something that was going to give me amber, and I didn't want to play it because I didn't want to go to 7.
Okay.
And I should have just discarded it because those ended up in my hand. They ended up being more useful later on, but it was still another one of those things. My hand is like 8 or 9 discards. I'm fine with that because I can just play it all and then draw 6. And that I think may have cost me the game based off of how close it was.
Right.
How
Especially
close
because
it
you
became.
also had the Mars Needs Amber in your hand.
Yes.
Taking up space.
Right.
So you had that plus the Shadows
so the
card.
hand just
And
is
it's like,
getting clunk after. So I Life Ward Ketidus him, and he treasure maps as response, and that was brutal because he forged his key. He was going to be forging his key on his turn. I couldn't stop him. And it wasn't Miasma because I couldn't stop him. So I hit him with the Ketidus Life Ward because I'm like, this will give me a chance. His deck was Brobnar was the 3rd house. You may realize that I have not mentioned it much.
Brobnar Logos Shadows.
Yeah. His Brobnar was good at competing for the board, not great at really anything else. And he had like 2 Cowards Ends and some other stuff. So ultimately not a huge deal, but yeah. So he plays treasure map, so he goes from 2 keys 1 amber, and I'm hoping he has to have just a blank turn. He goes to 2 keys 5 amber instead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this was supposed to be the turn I get back in the game because I've only forged 1 key.
Right.
So I like go back to threatening. I managed to forge the 2nd key, and I have like Gamgee on the table. I go to use Gamgee to threaten because I'm like, I have 4 amber and he has 5, so you get the reap amber from Gamgee first before you get to steal, and I didn't realize that at the time. It was still the right call to say shadows because I got to threaten, I get to forge, and then I go back down, and then Gamgee's back online, and Gamgee stayed in play for like most of the rest of the game, and Gamgee almost won it for me. So yeah, he goes and he threatens. I think I use like Schuler to stop him, and he has to take a turn off and play Logos and generates no amber. And so I like do some other stuff, and he goes and he plays Shadows and he plays Fagin, and he's got 2 Ronnies in his discard pile. He's got 2 Urchins in his discard pile. And so I have to collar the Fagin because I'm out of answers, but at least that way I can use Fagin, I can reap with Fagin. I don't have to like do anything with his Urchins because I believe it says friendly on it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I don't think he references opponent's Urchins.
You're right. So I just don't want him to activate Fagin at all. Well, he plays Merkins and hits my not finished with you, and gets he shuffles back in Ronnie and Urchin, and so the only play that I have is to like reap and go to 6 because I can't stop him, and I'm like, I have to pray that he has no answers, and I like am desperately trying to get back to like my Miasma because I had played it like early in the game, and I'm like, I just got to draw like one of my answers, and I draw up and I don't have anything to stop him, and he's like, Ronnie Urchin, keep you off the key, and go, and I don't have the answer, and that's game. And he had like maybe 3 or 4 cards left in his deck. his Merkins was just insane in the first game too. In the first game, he hit Exhume off of Merkins and got like a Ronnie back. It was just a debacle.
That's insane,
but
yeah.
So disappointing result, but still like just an incredible game.
Yeah,
like
right.
really, really close. The fact that I got back to 2 Key 6 Amber in the middle of that was like something.
It says a lot for that deck.
Yeah, and this deck is like really good. So Justin and I intend on including this in the second round. I think a deck that went 6-0 or a total of 6-1.
Yeah. My stipulation is I can bring the deck that I opened for our testing.
Yeah.
Because it's my highest SAS deck.
So both of those decks are going to get entered into the second round of the AOA tournament that we're doing, which we're going to pick back up on Wednesday.
Yes.
So for people who want to actually watch games of Keyforge. So yeah, that was Friday. I was done out early on Friday, which sucked. But top 16 finish, not disappointed with that. 6-0 was better than I possibly hoped for on day one.
Yeah, no, that was great.
So yeah, and I mean, I feel like that dude's deck was just like a buzzsaw. I didn't get a chance to really watch any of the rest of the top cuts or anything like that. So Devin was his name, right, from Team Reapout. Like he seemed like he played like solid all day. So yeah, definitely probably deserved to win that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, everyone we played against.
Yeah,
fun people.
Yeah. Everybody we met were cool people.
Turns out everyone plays Keyforge is cool.
Yeah,
who would have thought?
Right. Something about the game weeds out like the hyper competitive card player.
Yeah, because I don't think you can be too. Especially if you're playing a Keyforge Steel tournament, you can't be like too. I'm gonna win this, or else my life's meaningless.
Yeah,
because you might just open a
right. Or you can open 3 garbage decks. You could open awesome decks.
You could open awesome decks.
And
then pick a different one.
And pick the wrong deck.
Yeah.
You know. Or
just have bad matchups. I mean, you can have a great deck.
I played against no artifact control all day.
Yeah.
I was like playing Life War. Like so many of my opponents had shadows, and some of my opponents had like logos and this. And I'm like playing Life Ward. I'm just like, don't remote access me, don't poltergeist me. Don't snack lifter me. Don't do any of the things that I don't want you to do. I had like one dude play like a Tentacus that I like life for a life.
Because you could have easily like just lost the game to the going off at the wrong time.
Now the life ward wouldn't have been too bad because my deck was light on creatures. My creatures were just conduits for a lot of my cards in the first place.
Yeah.
Life for a life being one of them. Collar of subordination. I'm taking your creatures. So, but. I was just like waiting for something to go horribly wrong all day, but I didn't have any artifact removal played against me at all. Got to use my toys exactly the way I wanted to. So I think that was like a big boost for me. So Archon, totally different story, completely different story. Just everything I said about Sealed. Did not apply to Archon.
So I brought an AOA deck with Mars in it. It is Dish Shadows the other houses. I can link this one because it's obviously scanned. But let me spell it right. Offensively powerful Toki. Offensively powerful Toki. I brought 4 decks and I was gonna pick one of them. I was leaning pretty hard on Temujin based on our testing before we left.
And you were waffling all over the place.
I was pretty waffled.
Yeah, you were just like, I don't know which one to. You're like, I want to take Toki, but then I don't want to like play against Collar Subordination. Then you're like, I want to play Temujin, but I hate that there's 2 bad pennies in it, and just like in a big
testing,
big circular logic loop that you were stuck in. So
there it is. Hey, it worked. You did play against Toki Storm, I think, in one of the games, maybe even 2 of them. I don't remember. But I definitely played it against you because I think I played all 4 of my decks when we were messing around before the tournament started. So I went 3-3 ultimately. Looking back at the games, the ones I lost, I had chances to win. If I would have thought about some things a little harder or made slightly different plays, and plays that I should have made. Yeah, plays that I should have made had I considered it. Maybe not been so exhausted just from Gen Con, not being able to sleep very well.
But I did spend 14 hours on Friday building a TIE fighter completely composed of trading cards. Yeah. So I had like 2 hours of sleep going into Archon Day.
But Toki, I think was the right call.
Yeah, and I think you're right.
When I picked it, I think it was the right call.
You were 3-1 at one point, right?
I was.
So you were staged. You were like where you needed to be to get to the cut.
Yes. So
I never was. So
my distance deck was just like driving everything, and it had a lot of answers for different things. Like Collar, very good.
Yeah.
And I have Disc Shadows in my deck, so I'm gonna be able to use whatever I Collar most of the time. I'm trying to think. There was one time I had to Collar something that I couldn't use, but it was a Hunting Witch. So it's a Hunting Witch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. That guys that have static effects are totally great targets for collars.
So I'm using it. So.
Yeah.
The Mars in here was like not great, but it's like unsuspectingly good because it has 2 Mars firsts. Carpet Flotsam was useful on a lot of occasions because I would use it like the turn after a Unlock Gateway.
Yeah.
So the disc had also Poltergeist, which was very good a lot of the time. 2 Exhumes was just money, just always money. Charade, of course, for control, and Yerk was awesome as well.
Yeah.
The Shadows, so the entire deck pretty much was driven off trying to get off as many Brens in a turn in the game during the game as I can. And I had several games where I played Bren 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
Those were the games I won.
That's
the games
just a
that
huge
I lost,
swing.
Yeah, and the games that I lost, Bren was in the bottom of my deck.
Yeah.
So I was always looking for, like, when I looked at their Archon card, I was like, do they have Oubliette? Do they have a way to bounce him? What answers do you have to Bren? So here's what I can do with Bren. So if they don't have any of those answers, I can play him. If they do have those answers, I'm probably going to discard him as soon as I can, and then probably try to get him off with the Exhumes Gateway.
Keep him safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep him in a place where he couldn't get got.
Because there was one turn in the very first game I played. I actually played against another AOA deck with the same houses I was playing. So that was kind of interesting. But I feel bad for that guy because it was probably like my deck fired off to the extreme.
It was just like was like close to, like, if you could just call your shots, it's just doing that.
Because it was like first turn, I was going second. He played a guy. I played Dust Imp, and I killed it somehow. No, never mind. That wasn't sealed. I was thinking I had 2 fates in here. I think I played Dust Imp and like Yerk. No, go back in time. Okay, so I definitely had to get turn against him.
All the games blur together.
Yeah, I'm struggling right now. Also, we drove for 9 hours.
Yeah.
So I definitely had a turn against him where I played Yerk, discarded Brend, exhumed Brend, exhumed Dust Imp, unlocked Gatewayed. So I gained the 2 from the Dust Imp. I gained the 2 from the Exhumes. I stole 3 from him for the Brend, and I killed everything on the table.
Yeah.
And he was like, good game. So I think that was for my last key too.
Yeah.
So, and I think I had at least gotten off Brend one other time. No, because that was the turn I played. So that was one Brend game. There was definitely a game where I used Brend 2 times and swindled a guy. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Because I was able to mother gun my own Brend against that guy. A couple play mistakes. I lost pretty hard to there was a lot of really nuts Shadows decks in the Archon tournament, and I wasn't prepared to play against them, I guess. I mean, it was just like...
Yeah.
The amount of stealing was crazy.
Right. You were talking like all kinds of routine jobs everywhere. I want to go on the record saying that routine job is a bullshit card.
It's kind of dumb.
I kind of hate that card. I played against so many of them. I don't think that card particularly takes any amount of skill to play. Bait and switch, you at least had to engineer. Sometimes you had to engineer the situation you needed bait and switch in for it to be good, right? So yeah,
I did get bait and switch for 2 amber several times, which doesn't feel too bad considering it was going to steal 5 or something, right?
Yeah.
And then I had a game where when I looked at his Archon card, I remember seeing 2 Relentless Whispers, 2 Loot the Bodies, a Coward's End, a lot of stuff in Brobnar to fight immediately. So just a lot of ways that he benefits from me having dudes on the table. And I remember thinking, I need to keep guys off the table unless I absolutely need them. So I tried to do that most of the game, and I ran into a situation where instead of using my Gateway, and also was able to Poltergeist his Nepenthe Seed and picked up a...
Yeah, you mentioned that.
So here's my biggest misplay. I thought I had a Brand in my discard pile.
But you didn't.
I had Unlock Gateway, Exhume. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, and Poltergeist in my archive. So I pick up my archive. I Poltergeist as a Nepenthe Seed. I pick up Exhume because I was gonna get my Brand back. I play Exhume. I'm looking through my discard pile. I'm like, I don't have Brand. I did have Ronnie.
Yeah.
So I Exhumed a Ronnie. I didn't really have another good target for the Exhume. It was gonna be like a Martian. Didn't do anything to play.
Nothing like Dust Imp. Nothing that actually has an immediate effect.
Yeah, there was no Dust Imp or anything, so I didn't have a good value for it. But I already had the Exhume in my hand, and then Unlock Gateway. He only had one creature on the table, so at that point, I didn't even really want to use the Unlock Gateway. I had 2 Martians in play, so I was like, I have my 3 creatures to his 1. He had taken a huge lead by just stealing everything and generating a ton of amber.
Yeah.
He was at 2 keys already, but he started to slow down a bit, and I was trying to stop him. I had forged a key, and at this point, I was at like 5 amber, and I was
trying to get your second key. Yeah.
So I hold on to Gateway and the Exhume, trying to like hopefully draw into like a good Bren turn or something.
Yeah.
That
And if you have like a Ronnie, it's like hard to say that Ronnie like. And I was you should just get rid of your second Exhume when you have a Ronnie, right? Because you can just always go get them.
And maybe I should have played at least held on the Exhume and played the Gateway. So I should have played the Gateway. That was the end result there, because he hadn't played his Loot the Body's Coward's Ends yet.
Yeah.
And he was down to below half his deck. So the next turn, he does double Loot the Body's Coward's End. It gains too much amber for me to deal with. And I had ways to deal with like small amounts of amber. And that was it. I was just out of the game. Yeah. That was my first loss. That was in round 2.
Yeah.
I end up playing against a guy that I played against the previous tournament named Steve, and in the Sealed he had a deck that was named Steve,
which is
really nice
funny.
Guy.
Yeah, it's just sweet. It's
cool
just,
guy.
Yeah.
He beat me in the Sealed. I ended up beating him in the Archon tournament. I think he was actually the one that I got 2 Brens off, because I got Gateway Brend with Exhume off, and then I got Exhume Poltergeist his Key to Dis with Brend to steal 3. And another turn I swindled him. And I think I played a Ronnie in that game too. So I stole like a total of 10 amber from him.
Yeah.
It was actually still a pretty close game. And he's a really good player. So it was really good. A really interesting game. So I ended up 3-1 at that point. The next round, I played against Jean-Claude from Reap Out. He was playing the creature that screams at dreams.
Yeah. I played him in round 2.
Yeah.
And he beat me. But my game against him was I knew that he had he goes first and he plays Dust Pixie, and I go and I have like a 4-card Dis hand or I have Dipno, Spy Master, and Nexus, and I opt to play them instead and then draw up. And he goes and he's like, I don't know how you did it, but like you screwed up my plan. So he has to discard his Nepenthe Seed, because if he plays it, I can just Dipno. It doesn't matter what I do on my next turn. I can Dipno
just get rid of it.
Nexus to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So because he didn't have like a way to kill him immediately.
So in our game, I get some Martians out and I have Resonator Sing on.
But then he proceeded to beat me. He just trashed me. So
he plays double Speed Sigil, and in my next turn I don't have any creatures to take advantage of him. So I'm just like, I play a bunch of events and I threaten a key. Because the amber generation in this deck was like crazy. Like it's got 17 actions or something, and most of them have an amber pip on them.
Yeah.
So I was all walking around.
Yeah, he's walking around.
Go back upstairs. There you go. Oh, there's me helping.
Yep. All right.
Let me text Ryan about that. So he plays a Strange Gizmo. I know. He'll probably be back. On the previous turn, he had played a Strange Gizmo on the next turn, and played Effervescent to stop me from being able to threaten. The next turn, I think I was playing. I didn't do much. I had to take like a almost nothing Dis turn because I had some crap in my hand. I might have exhumed something, but the next turn, he plays just Crazy Untamed, Full Moon, Nature's Call, Dust Pixie, or to bet to play it twice, and I'm thinking he's gonna Nature's Call my Resonator, but he's like, no, that's I'm not actually not going to. So he goes up to 11 Amber and plays Chota to Forge to destroy everything,
including the
Resonator, because of the strange gizmo on table. So he wanted to destroy my Resonator instead of me having it in my hand, which is probably correct.
Yeah.
So the game proceeds from there. I believe I forged my second key at that, or my first key at that point as well. But the rest of the game is like him stealing stuff from me with shadows and then getting off a huge untamed turn.
Yeah.
To forge. And I actually ended up exhuming my Resonator later on, but he was able to bounce it pretty reliably with the Nature's Call because he had, I think he had one more Nature's Call. I know he had a Dependency on the table. So the very last turn, his entire deck, what was not in his hand was in his discard pile. In his hand, he had a Regrowth. And on the table, he had an Nepenthe Seed. So,
how much Amber does he have?
He had, I think it was 8. No, it was like 7 Amber. It was 7 Amber. Or 6. 6.
Okay.
So, he uses Nepenthe Seed to get Nature's Call.
Because you left Chota alive,
Because
right?
I left... No, so Chota was in the discard pile still.
Okay.
And... No, he had one card left in his deck. He had to figure out what that card was. I think that card was Regrowth.
Okay.
Because he had to get exactly one card. He had to draw exactly one card. And he draws it past his turn. He had I believe he had 7... No, he had 8 Amber because I remember thinking he can Nature's Call and like Key Charge because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
What he was going to do. I hadn't registered that he was going to play a Regrowth.
Yeah.
So that was my play mistake there because on my turn I was swindling to try to throw his math off.
Yeah.
And his math wasn't going to be messed up if he was going to bounce my Resonator anyway.
Right.
And I knew he had Nature's Call. So I should have known if his plan was to forge immediately, he was going to do it.
Yeah.
I just didn't register that he had a way to get Chota back to forge immediately.
Yeah, okay.
If I had registered that, there was a way for me to generate enough Amber to where I had more Amber than him and play Perplexing Sophistry to give myself a chance
at discarding.
It was like a third 1 out of 3 chance to get one of the 2 cards that would have made them win the game.
Yeah.
If I would have discarded either one of those, I believe he would not have been able to forge.
Okay.
If I got the Nature's Call, he maybe still was able to forge. So I might have had to get the Regrowth. Because if I got the Nature's Call, he could still bounce the Resonator and then forge on my turn.
Yeah.
Or like I have a turn to answer those. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to say.
It's really tough to say.
But like at that point, it's like if you think he can bounce the Resonator, you have to make the.
And I knew he could bounce the Resonator.
Right. So you knew he could bounce the Resonator. So you have to like shoot for the card that's in his hand. The dogs are back. So.
People stole the toy. Or the bone.
So.
Gosh, he's gonna swallow it whole.
My first game, I got trashed. Bounce. I got trashed by.
Maybe there's like a lingering odor or something.
I got trashed by Bounce.
Yeah.
Because the dude played Hysteria. He played Lights Out. He played Nature's Call. And the thing about Christensen is that with 2 Arises, I really don't care if my guys die. But if my guys keep going back to my hand, it's really bad. Because I never get to use them. And it is one of those things where I kind of realized that I probably should have just been discarding dudes that didn't have play effects in the first place. So like Schuler and Tourette, fine to get played. Those guys are cool. I can put them into play. Because I didn't get through my deck fast enough to get to Gengar Chieftain. And Gengar Chieftain could have done a lot of work that game because he had like really light, bad creatures that I could use Crump and Gengar Chieftain to fight him. And if he's bouncing those guys, I think I'm fine with that.
So there's something to be said about bounce in the format because I remember having Lights Out in my hands several times and never having good targets for it.
Yeah.
Never.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at like Schuler
Yeah, exactly.
and Dust Pixie
Right, and it's just
and Urchins.
yeah, and
And
whereas
I'm like,
my deck
I
is
guess
just
I'm gonna wait till my opponent has no creatures to play this card.
yeah, my deck is just chock full of dudes. So a lot of these guys I want to play multiple times in a game, but there are a lot of like Troll and Looter Goblin and Dipno and Headhunter and Nexus all have to be in play to actually get to do something.
Yeah.
And I should have the guy also had like 2 Relentless Whispers. So all my really small guys, I probably should have just thrown in the bin.
Yeah.
Because those guys were useless in the game. I mean, that game ended up being pretty good, but I think he key charged me out at some point. That's another thing that Christensen is weak to, is people who instantly forge keys, because it has so much Amber Disruption.
Yeah. That was one thing, as John Cloud was able to forge all of his keys with Chota.
Yeah.
Literally all of them. And I couldn't really steal to any great effect there to stop that from happening.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't think Christensen was necessarily the wrong call. But it's one of those. Justin and I were we were down on Archon after the day, because we were like,
Because we played against so many Shadow Sides that were just like,
yeah,
routine jobs, 2 Relentless Whispers,
better than any Shadow Sides we have open.
Nerve Blast, Bane
Right.
Switch, Miasma.
It's not like skill testing Shadow Sides, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, routine job doesn't take much finesse to play.
Right. Yeah. Now I will say my 4th round opponent or 5th round opponent was actually he had a Mars Shadows, and I don't even know what the 3rd house is because it barely mattered. But he had only 4 Mars creatures and Invasion Portal in his deck, and what he would do is when he had to take a Mars turn, he would mill himself out, play.
You're trying to bust up in here.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, why isn't Vault Keeper uncommon? Right? I think if you make Vault Keeper uncommon, you end up with way more more balance in the game, because the Shadows has to deal with the Vault Keeper first. Because that was the thing about a lot of the Shadow Sides, is that relatively big dudes, they could lights out, sure, but that's once per game they get to do that.
Yeah, they need to see more to have to play around.
Yeah, exactly.
Stealing.
And
Just bring Vault Keeper back.
And here's
in another form.
here are the list of stealing cards I don't have a problem with.
Power creep seems to be mostly on Amber control from cards that have been released. It's a very good thing. It makes me reasonably powerful. It also looks like things are better at generating Amber.
Yeah,
which I like too, because it'll make games more
Ward
fast and crazy.
Ward I think is interesting too.
Yeah.
And we plan on talking about the new set next after this. So yeah, I mean, we're not quite ready to segue, but yeah, we're gonna get to the new set because we are excited about the next set. It looks awesome. But anyway, he would use Invasion Portal to mill himself, so that if he had a routine job, it was always stealing 2, which is pretty clever, right?
Yeah,
that should be that's the kind of play that should be rewarded.
Yes.
And I don't have a problem with that. That's a really neat, inventive way to make sure that you're and he was just given, it was the alarm charlatan kind of thing, where
just
he gives himself multiple chances at the same cards
Yeah.
to play over and over again. Awesome. That was the least offensive Shadow stuff that I had played against. And the people I played that did not have Shadows in their deck, I trashed. Trash.
I don't know that I played against anyone that didn't have Shadows.
Yeah, the games I won with this deck were not close, and
Yeah.
I played them against cool people, but their decks just weren't in the same realm, at all.
You were in the loser bracket for a while.
Yeah, I was. But I'm saying is the dudes that I was playing in the losers bracket, I felt bad for.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just you wandered in the wrong place, man. I don't know what to tell you. I did play against the dude.
Have fun.
I know. I had fun too.
And it's good Amber Shards.
When I did play, and it was good Amber Shards. Yeah. I played against the dude who had 2 Resonators in his deck, and that game, we seriously finished that game 10 seconds before time was called in the round.
Yeah.
Because he was never close to winning. I think he forged 1 key, and he had gotten some Amber, but he never came close to winning. But I was just paying through the nose for all of my my keys.
And it
'cause
takes
of the
Christensen a while to get there, so I imagine.
Because I have to have some dudes on the board to generate.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like very good at fighting, but yeah. Anyway, so Archon, and so Justin and I were like initially like, oh man, this format sucks. But the more we thought about it, the more we realized that there was stuff we could have done in the games that we lost.
The problem is we tried to bring our best, what we thought were our best
Yes.
decks.
And I think the winning deck of the Vault Tour proves, like, basically, like, you can have a specific game plan with your deck, and if you know how it works, then you can just dunk on people.
And especially if that game plan is contrary to the meta of, like,
Fast
not
Amber.
so shadows.
Fast Amber, fast stealing Amber, and forging keys out of phase and whatnot, so... Yeah. We'll do a quick product review of this stuff before we start talking about it.
These little game gening boxes are totally sweet.
Yeah. So, $35. Comes with a tray right here. I'm like looking at the delay. So, comes with a tray. It's got room for extra stuff in there. There's actually some foam inserts. I took those out because I didn't have enough room for all of my tokens and whatnot. We met Strategic Dino. Did you meet him?
I did not.
Yeah. Anyway, he's on Twitter actively. He prints like tokens.
Okay.
Which are pretty cool. So
I did meet the Arbits guy.
Okay.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
Because we use his tokens. He didn't seem to care.
Obligatory hashtag sponsor us, you cowards. You got room for 3 decks, which is neat. And I ended up using it for like extra tokens and whatnot. Chain trackers, stun tokens, power tokens, that kind of stuff. But you can fit 3 decks in there. The branding on it is nice.
It looks very sweet.
You've got the Keyforge symbol there. The sides have keys. There's that sweet circular metal key here. Really sweet.
You can take out the divider? Really? This guy?
Take out. What?
No, that thing is in there.
I don't know. No, nah.
I don't believe it.
Nah, I'm not damaging this. This is a collector.
He's trying to trick us.
You're trying to make us break this on stream.
We did take out the foam one.
Yeah, we took out the foam thing. Yeah.
That's what you're talking
about.
Not
a trick. All right. Well, we'll explore that later. Can you like pull it out?
You're gonna break it.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
broken.
know. I'm still not convinced you're not tricking me. So, but yeah. So neat stuff. Good quality. That's their key.
The chain
tracker. We didn't buy any of the single deck ones. They call them deck sleeves or whatever. This is the deck box. And then they have deck sleeves. That's one that has like the nice open face. So you can see that houses the name, the picture of the Archon.
Those are really nice. I just like having something that holds tokens too.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I'm going to go to a tournament, I want something like this. I want something that's got a nice deck books. There you go. I want a nice like something to grab, something that is like visually, because I don't want anybody walking past the table and walking off with it kind of thing. Like I want to see where this is at all times. So yeah, it was super nice. I definitely think those are worth it.
Absolutely, 100%.
And viewers of the stream will know that we're not sponsored by anyone. Yeah, so this is just a genuine recommendation.
Yeah. Hashtag not an ad.
Hashtag sponsor us, you cowards.
But do sponsor us. But do pay us.
Yeah.
If you want to pay us, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Or just give us a free deck book. Like,
yeah, something.
We'll be like, this is the best.
We're Keyforge influencers. I will take a picture of the deck book around town and make a travelogue with my Keyforge deck book.
My deck book.
Yeah. Anyway, new set. Worlds collide.
Yay.
Dinosaurs.
This is what it's like when
Spacemen.
Worlds collide.
Yeah, Power Man 5000.
Because you're going with me.
Yeah, next set looks good.
It looks fun, and we get 2 new houses. Pretty excited about.
Sanctum and Mars are gone, which is interesting.
Pretty not mad at that.
I would have like loved to have seen what would have happened if Shadows had left, but that's just me. Shadows and Dis, but yeah.
What is?
No.
So you would have to like peel the sides.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay, we believe you, I guess.
All
we
right.
believe that you broke your thing. Yeah. Starmans.
Yeah. The Starfleet Academy is there.
Starmans. I'm so excited.
The dinosaurs look sweet. Our buddy who's been like resisting Keyforge for a while, he's basically sold because of the dinosaurs. He wants in.
Dino Roman gladiator.
Yeah,
Totally
he's like,
awesome.
give me some dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They look pretty good. Like the dude that reaps, and you look at the top 3. He reaps to Igor. Like he reaps to better than Igor.
It's better than Igor, yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot, and they're all, the dinosaurs are pretty big from what I saw. Like minimum 4
They're
power.
large, and then you have new mechanics in
Yeah.
Ward
New
and Rage.
I'm not mad at the new
Tokens?
keywords. Yeah,
Okay.
the new like statuses, if you want to call them that,
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm not mad at those. I think those are interesting. Exalt is definitely an interesting mechanic.
I love Exalt.
Definitely skill testing.
Yeah.
Because you got to know when you want to exalt your dude and when not to.
Yeah.
And Ward seems like a pretty strong mechanic. You had some reservations about it.
I'm worried that boards just are gonna be fat again.
Yeah.
Because
And you're going to be fighting and doing nothing.
yeah, right.
Right,
So
'cause
it's gonna
it's
be
like-
like nothing turns.
Like if you have like Ward on an elusive dude, like 3 fights to get that guy gone.
Yeah, I'm just worried from the cards we've seen. I'm worried that Ward will be too prevalent, and you'll have like several Ward tokens out on both sides. And your answers normally are like, I have a gateway to this, or I have my unlock gateway to answer
Yeah.
your board, and that's always going to answer the board no matter what, except for like Archimedes. But
Yeah.
if you do that and your guy's got like your opponent's got all our creatures warded, you're like, I want to get 3 chains to break all your ward tokens? I mean, no, or like to break some ward tokens and kill one guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ward Token because it combines with Exalt pretty well, right? Like, it
Sure.
seems like those are designed to work together because you're enticing your opponent to attack a dude that's got Amber on it, but he's harder to get killed.
And it's like so good on high power creatures because it's not like elusive. You have to if you're attacking to get rid of the ward token,
Right.
You're throwing a guy to his death, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So I'm still reluctant to accept.
Yeah. We haven't seen everything, so there might be stuff that, like, does something with Ward.
Like kills everyone with ward tokens.
Yeah, I could see, or I could see, like, a dis rare or something
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like,
It would probably be a rare
remove
that
all
does that.
Ward tokens, kill all creatures.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know, because you had cards like Clear Mind that cleared all stun tokens, so I mean, there's definitely precedent for them to interact with
I worry about like token bloat.
yeah, I mean, I'm slightly less worried about it because
Eventually, I think it's fine with 2. Like you're adding, I'm reluctant also because you're adding 2 new tokens in one set, for their statuses. So you'll have a guy. He's got like some damage on him. He's got Amber on him. He's got stun. He's got exalt. Or he's got
Enrage.
Enrage.
Yeah.
And he's warded.
Yeah.
And you're like, what even?
what happens? Yeah, exactly.
He's
He's enraged. He's enraged and stunned. What happens?
You unstun him, I think.
Yeah, right. But still, like new players. I mean, that was like the, that's the thing that I've heard talking to new players a lot is about like how slow the stuff is. Thanks for that follow.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for that follow. So yeah, no, the anomaly looks sweet. The ghost robot dude, awesome.
Did they say how many anomalies there's gonna be?
I don't know. They did not
At
say.
least 7.
7. Woo.
That's a lot. Hiya.
Hello. Did we meet you? We have no idea.
A07. Oh, he's A07. Okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Card number A07.
And also, there's the most in this set. There are more cards than any other set.
Yeah, it's like 400, right?
It was like 407, I want to
Yeah,
say, or 402, something like that. And
Yeah.
the other ones were what, like 360 something.
So Anomaly is a card that can appear in every house, and they have like lightning, like
glimpse of a
around.
possible
Yeah, they have like lightning around their borders. The picture looks cool.
No, they actually have that on their card.
Yeah, they have like lightning.
That is so sweet.
They have like lightning where the border is, just around it. So
That's totally sweet.
yeah, and he's got a cool.
So wait, I've heard about anomalies. They're unhoused creatures in the next set because they're from future,
Yeah.
as of yet announced houses.
Yeah,
would
that
make
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean,
That's
because
cool.
we I think we had talked about that because we were like, this ghost robot dude does not
Doesn't really
fit none of these houses.
Yeah.
You know, so where's he from, kind of thing.
So let me ask you this: could you eventually have dual house guys? Does that work in the game?
Like, is it broken because
Is it
you
broken?
have like a 13 card side?
I want to say you'd have like, I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
you'd have
yeah.
like some dual house guys, but it would take away from the others.
Right.
So like, you might have, they would be under a separate
like
header
two.
or something.
Wait, 3 dual house. Wait, I don't know. I don't think it works.
Okay,
don't
I
think
mean,
it
like
works.
I'm trying to make it work in my brain.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, and then it also looks like those anomaly guys have like glimpses of keywords from the future, because the robot dude said haunted, and it was like, as long as you have 10 cards in your discard pile, he enters play ready.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper robot was why I thought of Dis logos. Yeah,
Yeah.
but haunted mechanic is very cool.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, that looked fine, and his ability looked cool. It's I wonder about the anomaly dudes, if they're gonna be like kind of like horsemen, where it's like chase dudes that are medium
I mean, you have
impact.
more and more chase stuff.
Yeah.
It's rare. That's great.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's more exciting to open decks.
Yeah.
Not to mention you're getting new houses, and can you legacy cards from Mars and
Yeah.
Sanctum?
Yeah.
I mean, not legacy, but like Legacy Maverick. What happens then?
Right. Right. Can you get like?
That'd
you
be
know,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get like, I don't know what
You get some really crappy card, and you'd be like,
Martian generosity.
yeah,
I mean, like, you get like Maverick legacied Martian generosity in your deck, and you feel like a genius. So
that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I'm very
second
excited.
rarest card type other than Legacy Maverick. Okay.
Okay, damn that we might like not even get one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we plan on. I gotta start now, because I got a feeling this set is gonna bring the noise and the funk. So I'm gonna start. I need to begin negotiations for pre-ordering some of that now.
We should not get one case.
get more
We should get one box from different places.
from different places so we could test our theory. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It might take some effort, but I could probably do that.
we could get like 2 boxes from some places.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we saw a definite pattern with our case.
I think so. I mean, we had like 6 rock hurling giants or something, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, like it's not, to me.
It was like 4 to 8 the stings. It was a lot of stings.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, I just don't think stuff.
And a lot that we didn't see.
Yeah, I don't think distribution is even amongst the stuff.
And then we had that one box with no shadows in it.
Yeah. I mean, so the sealed that we went to.
Yes.
The sealed, there were so many shard decks.
Yeah.
I remember one of the decks that I opened had shards in it.
Yep.
The person I was sitting next to had shards in their deck. This person had shards. It was like triple shards, triple shards, triple shards. It was like shards everywhere. Just tripping over shards.
Yeah. So our theory is that like rare distribution and some other things,
And house distribution.
is somewhat close in a case.
Yeah.
And in one box it was like so obvious because
Yeah.
we opened like 3 stings in one box and 3 rock hurling giants in one box.
Right. Yeah. So we think there's definitely a correlation
Yeah.
between like what is it, where things are. I think if you grab decks from different places, I think a great card is Hypnotic Command is a great example of
Yes.
that. We never saw Hypnotic Command in COTA, and we went to the Atlanta Vault Tour, and we played in the sealed, and there were like 12 Hypnotic Commands in the room,
Yep.
just all over the place. I had like every sealed that I played in had like a Hypnotic Command deck somewhere in it.
Yep.
And it was just one of those things where it was just like, okay.
You guys gotta
Like,
learn how to play against this
yeah,
card. I've never seen
yeah,
it.
I'd never seen this card.
And we got a couple in this case too, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think, right. And I don't think necessarily, it's not, there's no correlation with power level necessarily. But at the same time, I don't play Keyforge to play randomly decks that are like 6 cards different.
And we also got very few Mavericks and a few Legacies.
Yeah, we were short on those. We
Yeah.
had one deck that had a Legacy and a Maverick in it, which I think has already been eliminated. But,
That doesn't make it good.
yeah, it doesn't make it good. It doesn't mean that because we opened, it was like 50 decks before we saw a Legacy, and Legacies are supposed to be roughly 1 in 10 decks.
Yeah, if you got that case that's like mostly Dish Shadow stuff, you're probably fine. You're
Yeah,
probably doing
exactly.
great. In COTA, that's like where you want to be. So
Yeah.
that does sort of correlate to power level. Yeah.
Right. But yeah. Anyway, this set, looking forward to it. Starfleet
And even the stuff in the other
Combining,
houses is
yeah.
really cool. Like, as I was watching,
all the logo stuff looked awesome.
Yeah.
The dude that archives and makes keys cost +1 for every card. That guy is perfect.
I was watching
Spicy.
I was watching the game between Brad Andres and the other designer guy. I'm not sure his name, but how many decks do you guys have? I have 135 registered.
I got this +3. Let me see if this app works. No, why would
It's
it?
not working.
Why would it?
You have like probably a similar amount, right?
Yeah, I'm in the 130 range
Yeah.
too. So
But I was watching the game between Brad and the other guy, and the just stuff out of the new houses looks really fun. Like
Yeah.
there's an untamed deploy guy that says when he on play, you can ready and reap with his neighboring creatures
That guy seems
one
nuts.
at a time. Like that's insane.
that guy seems nuts.
There's also a wolf that comes into play.
those
and when
guys
he comes
looked
into play,
awesome.
he
The
readies
pack
all
guys, yeah.
he readies all wolves.
They all have skirmish.
And he had 4 in the deck, so I think
Yeah.
it comes with at least probably 1.
Yeah.
And they all have skirmish, yeah. They're 2 power. Curious about your theory because I'm from Brazil and order a few decks from USA. If you're just ordering like
Hey,
1
Bill.
or 2 decks at a time, then you're probably not going to run into the distribution issue. We mostly saw it when we bought full displays and full cases.
Yeah. So for AOA,
If you buy decks from other places of the world, like 1 box here, 1 box here, you're definitely going to get different distribution, no doubt. Like that's,
yeah, with the deck we shipped overseas to Neil's, had 5 Library of Babels. in it.
Yes, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So,
So-
that gives you the most chance for like totally unrelated things.
Yeah, the thing was the decks that we bought for AOA, I ordered them all from the same store. When they came in, they were all in the same case.
Yeah,
Like they were
the actual boxed case.
the actual box case. So, so it's one of those like those were probably all manufactured
packaged together.
right next to each other.
Yep.
And which is why they had such similarities between all the rares and
Right.
stuff in the set. Whereas like COTA, we bought
2 at a time.
and
open
we
play
bought
does.
them from like different waves as
Yeah.
well. I think.
Yep.
So yeah, and then we
That's
ended
why
up.
your deck's way better than mine.
Well, I was
Netflix.
trying to get those band names.
Yeah.
So
So Schuller's also named after RG's kid. Okay.
That's cool.
Cool. He's
I
good
don't-
at sneaking them references in there.
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, the original Magic set was that way too. There's like a ton of references and whatnot. So
But so it does look like they are printing good key answers or amber answers in the next set that aren't too overpowered.
yeah,
We haven't seen anything from Shadows at all.
Right.
I think
I don't think so. Not that I recognize.
because neither deck that they were playing on stream had Shadows in it, if I remember correctly. I really like the disc guy that when he comes into play, your opponent loses 1 and he reaps to go to your archives.
Yeah, that
I
guy's
love
awesome.
the design of that guy.
Yeah, he's like a 1-power, not elusive dude.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's lots of cool stuff.
The
Lots
Logos
of like,
archive guy could be a problem, but he's only 3 power.
yeah,
and he's
but
not
if you
elusive.
want your archives, you make their keys cost less.
Yeah.
So
But there's also the Logos key cheat that is like forge at +10 or something, and
Yeah.
then -1 for each card in your hand.
yeah,
So you'd have to like pick up your archives, and you could play your key cheat.
yeah,
So there's like a lot of cool stuff going on with archives.
right.
It seems like archiving is at the same power level as it was in AOA,
Yeah.
which
I
is
mean,
fun.
Yeah, it definitely is degenerate. I hope
Yes,
the
it can be
archive.
legitimate. And there was a ton of card draw, maybe more card draw.
Yeah.
In this set than any other
Yeah.
set. Bring Salt and Amber Control is essential to balance Archon meta. I 100% agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And because the AOA just like on average you're getting very little Amber Control. And those high power COTA decks, it's like 10 plus at least.
yeah.
Probably like 14 to 15
Mm-hmm.
cards that affect Amber. So yeah, you're absolutely right. There's got to be some way to combat those shadow sides.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with taxing the opponent because cards like Resonator, I mean, like something like Murmook just isn't quite powerful enough.
But I like the design of Murmur. So
I like
and I
Murmur.
hate Resonator.
I
and I hate
yeah,
Grumpbuggy.
yeah, right. I think Murmook is like right where he needs to be.
Yeah.
But like Resonator and Grumpbuggy, and I think Lash is perfect.
Yeah.
Lash
is great.
I think
I
Lash.
got taxed out the ass during that during the sealed.
Yeah.
I was getting taxed like every round. It was crazy.
I would just forge a key before my opponents could tax me.
Man, yeah, it was rough. Do you think they need hand control more in artifact creatures for your opponent as a counter, or artifact control as your? For
I don't. Okay, so one of the things that drives me crazy in Keyforge is hand control.
Yeah.
Because the game is supposed to be swingy, and I want to play my damn cards. Like, is that too much to ask? I don't mind so much like Tesmal. I hate Restrigantus. I'm not the biggest fan of Control of the Weak. I'm glad something like that exists. I mean, I want more stuff that interacts with the archives. I think Merkins is perfect, but Tintadlin is bad.
Yeah, I like those things, the big ones like Desania at rare.
Yeah. Right.
You don't want them to be too prevalent.
It feels like the Common Cold, or Take That Smarty Pants, or any of those other cards that 9 times out of 10 when you're playing them, they don't do anything. But when you hit with them, it is just like dunking on people.
Yeah, it's insane.
So yeah,
Punctuated Equilibrium is a bit of a feel bad card.
I don't like Punctuated Equilibrium. I don't like that
it's
card.
So good for the person playing it.
Yeah.
It's so bad for the opponent.
because like one of the skill things in Keyforge is like sculpting your hand throughout a game. Like thinking to yourself, okay, I've played 6 Brobnar cards. I'm 12 cards into my deck. I've got 2 Brobnar cards in my hand. I've got 3 Shadows cards and a discard. Okay, so do I play these 2 Brobnar cards to try to draw into more shadows? Just like doing that thing, and then like they're just like Punctuated Equilibrium. Boom, your hand's gone.
Yeah.
Like all that math's thrown off. You had an awesome turn. That's too bad. I'm just gonna give you 6 random cards.
Yeah.
Like you were planning on something. Doesn't matter. It's all gone.
Also, I'm just playing my turn, whatever happens.
Yeah,
exactly. I do have a deck like that, Bill, that I haven't played in the tournament yet. But it's got 3 Glimmers and Punctuated Equilibrium. So
yeah, you're just like
it's like
yeah,
blah, blah, blah,
right,
go through
right.
the deck like 4 times.
I mean, I do think there's probably a very, very powerful possible AOA deck. I mean, I think a deck like that could have done well in the Archon because so many people were trying to arrange combos like key cheats and stuff like that. It's like impossible to plan for that.
Here's what I want to see. Here's the hand disruption that I want to see. Is action. I don't know what house yet. Maybe Dis or Shadows. Name a card. Your opponent reveals their hand and discards all cards with that name.
Okay. Yeah.
Skill testing. You have to know the meta.
Yeah.
Looking at the deck list helps. Knowing what they've played helps. You're rewarded.
I was thinking something along the lines of like Vindalion Click. It's a creature you play. You look at their hand,
grab one, put it on the bottom.
Put it on the bottom.
They draw one.
I
like that too.
And you could use it on either player, so you could like play it and use it on yourself to reveal some card. Put it on the bottom.
We don't have like targeted removal except for the one that gets a Sanctum card right from hand.
Yeah. The Imperial Trader.
Yeah. There maybe needs to be like 1 or 2 more things like that at rare, probably not that common.
Yeah. Maybe uncommon. Maybe a creature. The thing is, I want like.
I would recommend 2 of each. Brass Dragon, because
the number of AOA decks open compared to COTA is so much smaller, and I do think there are busted possible AOA decks. I don't think they're going to. I think your average COTA deck is probably going to be worth more typically, but I think there are some real clunkers out there for COTA. You're gambling anyway, so yeah. Deep Probe actually is almost Deep Probe. Is kind of that card, but it only hits creatures.
Right. That's right.
So,
sort of. It's like name a house, discard all creatures of that house, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of similar. And like one of the sealed decks that I had 2 Deep Probes in it at the Atlanta Vault tour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That I did not play that deck, and I probably that deck I don't think had any shadows in it.
Right.
That deck would have been just me cold shotting people all day, and if I hit, I blow them out, and if I don't, then I don't.
I would like them to have hand disruption in every set and stuff.
Yeah, Psychic Bug is a good card. That was
good.
in one of my sealeds at the Atlanta Vault tour.
It lets you play. I had it in my Atlanta Vault tour sealed as well.
And it just
it's
it's so dumb. It's like if they have an answer or not, and so you can do whatever you need.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So, that is that. What else we got on the itinerary?
Just Gen Con talks.
That's it. We're done with Keyforge stuff. for the itinerary.
So we're gonna talk about Gen Con a little bit because it was fun. It's a
yeah.
big board game convention, so we're there for more than just Keyforge.
Highly recommend it for anyone who ever gets a chance to go.
Yeah,
definitely worth going. Judging by the chat, several of the people here were there. We played several new games.
So we played it. The first one that we really enjoyed. Yeah, Storm. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Definitely come back next year.
Yeah,
we can hang out more.
Yep.
The first one we played that we really liked was Eternal.
Yes.
The deck building game.
Yes.
Competitive deck building game similar to Ascension, Star Realms.
Yeah, I think Star Realms is a really good comparison because you are attacking a player with your military as opposed to fighting monsters.
Yeah.
Like an Ascension
all the stuff
or
you're
any
drafting
of
is to kill the man to your left.
Yeah.
And if it's multiplayer, you're always attacking left and defending right, which is really fun because you don't have that analysis paralysis and negotiations around the table of like, do I attack Nathan this turn?
It's not a game of Commander or anything like that.
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday is highly recommended.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we always go Wednesday and come back Monday, so we're experiencing all the days.
Yeah, all 4 days. Just.
Yeah. And our Sunday is always just play games from like noon till 11.
Yeah,
it's like 12 hours.
We'll
of games.
play like games that are easy to pick up. We'll play here and there, but there's just like so much stuff to do. There's so much food to eat. So much
so much good food.
So much beer to drink.
Ooh, that food. Ooh, that beer.
Yeah,
ooh, that breakfast.
Yeah.
So Eternal's really good. I would highly recommend it, especially if you like the
if you like
digital
Star
TCG.
Yeah. If you like Star Realms, if you like the Eternal game.
Yeah. Which is pretty good as far as digital TCGs go. It's a good game.
So it was a lot of fun. It's got the same pitfalls that I think a lot of deck builders have, where it's like
the person who gets that powerful card.
Yeah,
is like
the person gets
ahead.
like the ridiculous opener or whatever, just stays in control of the whole game. I mean, there were a lot of like comeback mechanics in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was. It's held up. It went pretty fast with 4 people too.
I want to say the 4-person game did go long because it was like that.
Yeah,
Logan game.
and you have like you can get eliminated. Like I died like 25 minutes into the game or something, and then the game went on for another 25 minutes. So
yeah, and Indy's really nice. I mean, the restaurants there are good, are real good.
Yeah. I would live in Indy, absolutely.
Yeah,
like we got no problems with Indy as a location.
It's nice. We enjoy it. We always get a really sweet Airbnb.
Yeah.
So, close to Wild Eggs. If you haven't been to Wild Eggs, go next year. Weather every single day. It was delicious.
You get yourself like a 1,500 calorie breakfast, and you are right for the rest of the day.
That's how we powered through the sealed because it was delayed for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We didn't get food until after it, I think, at all. No, we got a lunch because we got Paul.
We sent. It always helps to have a buddy who doesn't have any plans.
We did not see Shula's Steakhouse.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So there were a lot of places that I normally go to that I didn't even get to go to, because I spent most of Friday building a TIE fighter, and then
I think we got all the like essentials.
Yeah,
we got the Eagle, we got Der Petzelwagen.
Yeah.
The food truck.
Right. The food trucks are very hit or miss. But if you ever have a chance to, I'm glad they published the schedule ahead of time, because we knew this one food truck called Der Pretzelwagen, which all of its stuff is on like pretzel buns, and they make pretzels, like large oversized pretzels. And
Stream groupies, just Stormstrong.
Yeah, Storm. We ran into, there was some guy. It was about a week ago, who was talking about stuff, and I forgot his username. He did introduce himself, but he was talking about his deck, and I think it was the first time he had watched the stream, and he
OG groupie. Yeah.
He was like, "Oh yeah, we were talking, and I was like, oh, that's cool, good to meet you." And then we met Flying Squirrel, who is around occasionally.
Yep.
So yeah,
Lord of Winter. You met Lord of Winter.
Yeah, Lord of Winter. I ran into him. So. Lord of Winter and I actually met down in Atlanta, so
okay.
We had met before.
Oh, okay. How come I've never met him?
He had like a jersey. He had like a jersey that says like Lord of Winter on the back of it, and that's how I because I recognized his name from Reddit, because he was like he made pins for people, and he was like, if you see me, ask for a pin and I'll give you one. And I was like, are you Lord of Winter? You still have any of those pins? And he gave me one. And I was like, that's pretty cool. It's on my backpack.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Well, I'm jealous.
Yeah. Well, he'd already dropped out of the Archon. I was like 1 and 2 at the same time, and I just kept playing for the shards. So, but Gen Con's big enough that like it's totally forgivable that if you're like scrubbing out of whatever tournament that you're there to play in,
just
go do other
somewhere.
stuff.
Because we were
Go
all
to
over
those-
the place.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. We wanted to do like a dinner or something one night, but I was just busy the whole time.
Yeah, time did not allow for this much.
Yeah.
It was very busy.
Yeah.
So the other game that we played twice was Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The Power Rangers co-op board game.
Yeah.
Very fun, very on theme. You all play a ranger.
Yeah.
You're trying to protect the city from the monsters and Rita.
Yeah.
And Pulsa.
And the first time we played it, we didn't do great. So we went back and played it, and we played it with 4 people, which I think is
it wasn't designed for 4 people clearly.
No. I think it's balanced around 5.
Yep.
And so when you play with 5 people, the game is really fun. I want to say it was kind of close. There were a lot of times.
It was like
There were a lot of times where a
Yeah.
lot of people could have died.
yeah.
If things had gone one way or another. And I feel like we got lucky on a couple really, really good rolls to get lucky on.
Mm-hmm.
And but that game was a lot of fun, very thematic.
So I would say if you enjoy Power Rangers at all as a kid, if you have that nostalgia,
Yeah.
even if it was crappy, let's be honest, but there's nostalgia. It's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And you have 5 friends that like co-op games, I highly recommend
Yeah.
it. It's a solid co-op game.
Yeah, and it's not because you definitely have elements of randomness to it.
But it's not super random.
It's not incredibly random, but there's enough random that you like go to take an action and you're not 100% of the outcome.
yeah.
There were
there's
multiple
dice rolling.
Yeah, so there was multiple times.
Who is the best ranger? So they all have sort of synergies with each other, which is cool. So like,
and we didn't play any of the expansions.
right. We just played the base game.
Yeah, and apparently you can mix and match the Rangers from the expansions. Basically, like each Ranger's Zord is tied to the Ranger's abilities somehow, and then you can.
Bits.
Oh,
Thanks
thanks.
for the hundy.
Take that top spot.
Look at that.
Top spot for the month of August, which we have not streamed
Easy
in yet.
to make that.
Yeah, yeah. The bar is low around here.
But I played Jason both games, and Jason's obviously the best ranger.
I played
Red Ranger.
I played Trini, and she.
I uplifted the rest of my companions that you could not carry through. Because you did yourself. Like
Yeah.
you did
My-
whatever you had to do.
Yeah,
on your
my
own
I
with the
I
Yellow
was like
Ranger.
super self-sufficient as the Yellow Ranger because she has a bunch of ways. So your deck is your life total. And so when you go into combat, you can draw up to 5 cards. And so there's a lot of situations where if you've taken some damage, you don't want to draw your whole deck. You've only got a couple cards to work with. And so one of the mechanics that you have to do is to like actually go like refresh your cards. You gotta like shuffle in. Your cards have shields on them, and so when you take damage, you like flip over the top card and block damage equal to the shields. And so if you get hit for a bunch and you have to like mill out, you're dead. And so the Yellow Ranger can like shuffle a bunch of her cards back into her deck, which means that you can like get into a lot of fights in the same turn and still have resources left over to keep fighting with. So she's just super self-sufficient, and you kind of have to like send strike forces out. You kind of have to like split up your forces.
It was very good at making you think about how to allocate your actions and like fighting as a team.
Yeah, and like not wasting actions,
Yeah.
because like in the first game we definitely wasted actions.
Oh, a lot.
Where it's like if there's like just one putty wandering around, like you don't want to fight that guy. You want the group of putties. Go fly into a group of putties, hit them in their Z, make them fall apart.
Punch from that stupid Z.
Yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
But our number one game,
Yeah.
and we always have a game in Gencon. Every Gencon, one game rises to the top.
Yeah.
The cream always rises to the top, as
Yeah.
they say. In past years, I'll try to remember the ones from past
Yeah.
years. I know the first legendary deck builder was one of our first game of the years.
Yeah, and it's a game that quickly degenerates once the buzz from that game wears off.
Yeah.
Because you start adding expansions in. It's not designed together. First off, it's published by Upper Deck, which I think is just a garbage company. Hashtag don't sponsor us.
Don't you even try.
Don't sponsor us,
But
you cowards.
hashtag if you do want to give us money, we will take your money.
Yeah, but yeah. So Upper Deck, I think, is a garbage company that makes inferior products almost universally. The first legendary was like lightning in a bottle kind of thing.
Except the way it was packaged.
Yeah,
Because
it was garbage.
if you remember, every card was bundled together, but you had to stack light cards with each other.
Yeah,
In the packaging, light cards were not stacked with
they
each
were.
other.
It was like collated in a weird place. It was
Yes.
like it was cut directly off a sheet and just piled.
Take care, Lord Winter.
See you around.
So like I remember sorting and sleeving that game was a 2-hour endeavor from like 3 people.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But we played the crap out of it. Anyway,
I
so-
think Alien Legendary
Alien
is
Legendary.
perfect. I think it's an accidental masterpiece because I've played the other, like some of the other ones.
Yeah.
I just gave up on legendaries after a certain point because
Yeah,
like the Predator
they're
one is
whatever.
not good,
Right.
But the Alien one is an accidental masterpiece.
And that was the next year's game of the year. Trying to think of another one. Last year was The Mind.
we played Code Names a lot one year, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, last year was The Mind, definitely, which was the first time we stayed in that Airbnb.
I don't know if we had one that year.
Well, Flip Ships.
We went through like flip ships. We did Ice Cool.
Yeah,
Was a lot of fun.
we had like a lot of dexterity games that were fun.
Yeah.
Whoa, Bill! Thank you, Bill.
That's 7 months. Thank you, Twitch Brown. Much appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll talk about this year's.
Yeah.
Bargain Quest. Now, Bargain Quest.
Yep.
I did a pre-order. I was looking through Board Game Geek. Red badge, best badge.
Yeah.
That's right. I was looking through Board Game Geek and just seeing what was available for pre-order. I was pre-ordering Power Rangers, and I saw that Renegade Games also has a game called Bargain Quest. I read the description. It said, you are a shopkeeper in a fantasy world. You draft and sell gear to adventurers who then fight a monster, and you try to make the best shop. I'm like, that sounds interesting. I could see that being fun. So I added it in my cart. It was, I don't even remember how much it was.
It's probably cheap. It's probably like 25 30 bucks. Yeah, it's not.
Because I bought like all the Power Rangers crap. I think I spent $200 on Power Rangers stuff that I'm never going to touch.
Yeah.
But Bargain Quest was in that group of games, and man, is that deck.
Yeah,
is that
we
game
played so much Bargain Quest. It was so fun. It was so you start and there's like 3 different monsters that you have to fight, and they get harder as you go through, and they're random. So there's a lot of replayability there. And when you start the game, you deal out like heroes in front of the players, and those heroes have gold. And then you have like this drafting segment where you're dealt random items to stock your shop. And so you have to like pick items based off of like how attractive they are, because like the fancier the item, the more likely you are to attract a certain type of adventurer to your store.
This game came out in 2017.
Well, I don't know. It was fun as crap.
It was.
We spent so much time playing it.
It might have been reprinted.
Okay, I can see
this
that.
Year.
Yeah,
Second edition. This was the second edition.
Okay, yeah. So, you and it's got your D&D tropes. You know, you've got your mages, your thieves. You've got your fighters. You got your clerics. You got your bards and stuff like that. And all the heroes have like special abilities. And so you have to like put really nice items on display to lure people to your store, but you can't sell them what's on display. That's like the window copy.
Because you can have like a really pretty item that attracts people to your store, but if you ever sold it to someone, it's functionally useless.
Yes.
And they're going to kill by a monster.
Yeah. So after they're done buying gear from you, they go out to fight monsters, and they have like random attributes that they have for that combat. And so sometimes they do well, sometimes they do poorly, sometimes they forget to take their holy avenger with them, and then they get absolutely trashed by the monster. And there's so many times where you're like, I am taking this dude's money and I'm sending him to die, but I got a store to run.
I mean, I got to make money.
I gotta make money.
At the end of the day, it's about that bottom line, making that gold.
So
you take...
yeah.
So there's a nobleman that shows up. He's got the most money of anyone, but he has no stats. So you're like, here's all my inventory. Good luck. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's kind of like that. 1 star. It's kind of like that.
yeah.
And so the nobleman's like, hey, I've got this fancy hat and this potion and this cursed elixir and this backpack,
and then monsters just stomping on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game is hilarious. You buy upgrades for your store. You buy employees. There's like we played it, and there didn't seem to be like any specific strategy that won, because like everybody else won different times. A lot of the games were typically within like 2 to 3 points.
Yeah.
They were very, very close. So
And the thing is, even if you were losing, you were having fun.
yes, because of like there was a turn where Justin and I, we were playing five players. Justin and I both mismanaged our turns so badly that we got zero points.
0 gold, 0 points.
0 gold,
and we
0
sent,
points on the first turn.
And we sent the people who came to our shops away with nothing
they
to
didn't
fight
buy
the monster.
anything.
And they died.
And they immediately died.
They came to the shop and we're like, oh, actually,
We don't have anything to sell you.
we don't. Yeah, we can't sell you anything. Sorry.
So,
bye.
yeah.
Good luck against that dragon, though.
Yeah. It's a funny game.
It created a great narrative.
Yeah,
it was very immersive.
It's one of those. It just creates like the emergent storytelling. There was the game where the nobleman like wandered into my store. I had like one item to sell him, and like basically told him good luck, and he draws like the best combat card and manages to kill the dragon to like save the town, because we were like close to everybody being dead.
Yeah.
And all players can lose if all of the heroes get killed. So yeah, you definitely get put into a situation where it's just kind of like, here's hoping the town's okay.
That's a game we might have to do on stream one day.
Yeah,
because there is
yeah.
a 2-player variant. But man, that game is fun.
We
played it. We probably played 6 or 7 games of it yesterday.
Yeah,
It's like a 45-minute game or so.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just so fun, and we wanted to play more, but it was like midnight.
Right,
We were gonna
right.
be up at 7.
Yeah,
So that is our recommendation.
yeah. Definitely check it
Yeah,
out if you
the
get a
game's
chance. Eternal also pretty good.
Eternal's
Power
very
Rangers
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We played some other stuff. None of it jumps to mind. We played some. There were several games we sat down to try to figure out how to play.
The Tremors game, or I guess it's called
Terror Below.
Terror Below, had too many rules for us to try to figure out, and it was too late, so we just wanted to play the
Yeah,
shopkeeper game
yeah.
again. So we played that like 2 more times.
Right. So
Which was a good choice. I'm happy about that
Yeah.
choice.
final thing I'll mention is Card Holla. I won't spend too much time on it. But Storm helped fold cards for me. Several people I had like dedicated card folders with me most of the time that I was building the TIE Fighter. If you're in our Discord, I've got a picture of the TIE Fighter from that I posted, I think on Friday. No, I posted it Saturday morning when it was complete. I posted a picture of it, what it looked like. So Card Holla, for those that don't know, people take their old useless CCG cards and they donate it to Card Holla, and people can build cardboard houses or build like houses out of it and structures and whatnot. And then on Saturday night, they have an event where people just throw their loose change and try to knock down the structures. And then all the loose change is gathered up and donated to charity. This year, the charity was the Special Olympics. I think there was another charity that was donated to as well. But they also auction off the first throw. The first throw was appropriately anticlimactic. The thing is, like, it takes like volume often to actually take stuff down,
Right.
especially some
So
of the
1/4
larger
is
structures.
usually not.
Yeah,
gonna
you
break
throw
anything.
you throw like 1/4 at like one of the larger structures and it just like disappears inside of it. I was actually proud of the kid. He like I spent some time talking to him last year when I was building the AT-AT, and I taught him how to do the cube structure. And he wanted to make the tallest tower this year, and he did. And he finished up like it was like 5 minutes before they shut down all construction.
Oh man!
He had built like a really tall tower, and then he built like a spire out of the cubes, and he put that up on top. So the spire can actually get knocked down pretty easily. It takes like a lot of fire. Since it was the tallest building, it absorbed like a hideous amount of fire before it went down. But when it goes down, you have like the tower that crumples and like crushes stuff that's around it and stuff like that. So it looks pretty awesome. So I built the TIE Fighter. It did not die to the small arms fire. It actually, so after they'd knocked down everything, after they called the ceasefire, one of the guys had walked up to it and was like shaking it and back and forth, and it was just like rocking back and forth, not falling apart. Somebody else grabbed the other wing and they tore it in half. Then, so yeah, lots of fun. Looking forward to doing it again next year. I think I've will probably successfully recruit people to get like some sort of ambitious project done. So, yeah.
Point blank, or like handfuls of change. The shotgun.
Yeah, and that's strictly forbidden against the rules.
Oh,
but
wow.
I invite them to.
Right.
Right. Thanks.
2 month streak. Thank you, sir.
We
Much
appreciate that.
appreciated.
We're glad you enjoyed podcast mode.
You're getting close to that yellow key. Yeah.
Apparently, key colors might matter in the next set. That was hinted at.
Brad was like, I was watching the stream while he was doing it. He was like, I'm gonna forge my yellow key because I was worried about something in your deck. And I was like, is he just messing with us? Because I didn't see anything that cared about key color in the other guy's deck. But
yeah. It could have been messing with
that's
you.
That's certainly a valid thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
forging whatever key color you want first.
That would be really cool if there were cards that like you had to play around, and you had to forge specific colors of keys, and you couldn't forge all of them at the same time. Does that make sense? Like you have to like pick which bad thing you don't want to happen.
So like
to
if your opponent has red Keyforge, then he does this. If your opponent has blue Keyforge, they does this.
So
they did say it was planned. Then him saying that was planned.
yeah.
So he was like, that's scripted to say that. That game was interesting to watch. It was fun because they were both having a good time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Okay, guys.
That's it for podcast mode.
I was planning to do in one of the sets.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
It could be anomalies then, maybe.
That's true too.
Like if that's the cool thing. So they can do like the magic thing with Future Sight, where they can try some keywords, and if it's like clunky and doesn't feel good or stuff like that, never use it again.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. Okay, guys.
That's it.
Thanks
We're
for
done.
listening. I think we actually ended up going longer than we thought we would.
Yeah, actually we did. We're pretty close to the amount of time, but we had like a lot to decompress from. So
we'll be back with more Keyforge.
Wednesday.
Keyforge on Wednesday.
Yeah, back to the tournament.
Back to the tournament.
Back to AOA decks exclusively.
I'm fine with it.
As far as
I'm ready to get through this first round.
Yeah, I want the first round to be done because
I do think there's still decks I really want to play in the first round.
I think the quality of decks are going to pick up, like the quality of games are going to pick up significantly in the second round.
I totally agree. Totally agreed.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What's Keyforge? That's a good question. Why don't you tune in? Wednesday and find out what it's like.
watch my learn to play Keyforge wildcard week. VOD.
I did clip that. I think I highlighted it. If not, I'll highlight it. But that's good to have. Anyways, good night.
Goodbye.
And good night.
We're done here.
See you Wednesday.
Finally done.
Okay, bye. Okay.